Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. Rowpaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
It's time for the Lithia Ford of Boise postgame show from Bronco Nation News. We're breaking down the game with highlights, interviews, analysis, and most importantly, you. Give your thoughts on the game in the YouTube chat or Facebook comments, and we'll include the best ones on the show. Check out LithiaFordBoise.com to view their full inventory of vehicles, or check them out at 8853 West Fairview in Boise. Now let's head out and join BJ Rains for the Lithia Ford of Boise post-game show from Bronco Nation News.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Pretty good, probably. What a performance by your Boise State Broncos, 82-59. They take down the Utah State Aggies. As always, we'll take your questions, we'll take your comments, your thoughts after this one. This is your show here on the Lithia Ford of Boise post-game show. Big shout out Lithia Ford for their sponsorship of this show. Make sure you check out one of their locations, check out their website and check out their location and their many vehicles that they have for you right there on Fairview Avenue. Lithia Ford of Boise, their all-wheel drive sale. We appreciate Lithia Ford of Boise and their support of Bronco Nation News, a love of community and the sport that brings us together. That's why Lithia Ford of Boise is the official sponsor of Bronco Athletics and also proud to be part of Bronco Nation News. But no matter what team colors you wear, Lithia Ford wants you to know you're welcome here. So, again, thanks to Lithia Ford. We got a lot to talk about on this show. I want your comments. We want your questions. Let us know how you're feeling after that one. Just a dominant Boise State win. Colin Mitchell is putting some interviews into the system. We got Leon Rice. We got Tyson Degenhart. We got Max Rice. We got a lot to get to here. As Kurt Blake says in the ICCU YouTube chat, total domination. And that is right. Chase Love wanted 30 to get a technical so bad. 30 was a punk, says Logan. Yeah, we will definitely be talking about what happened there. Are you worried Utah State might be overrated? I think they're definitely overrated. I said that on the show on Friday. Agree with you, Brandon. The numbers are going to be hurt a little bit, probably, by Utah State, probably not ending up as a quad 1 game. That'll probably be quad 2 by the end of the season. But still a nice win that helped your KenPom numbers improve from like 65 to 47. All of a sudden, Boise State is now up from 64 to 47 after that win. So we'll see what the net is, but all of a sudden that's just a huge win. And Boise State now has a win over number 43, Utah State, number 77, St. Louis, number 70, Texas A&M, number 49, Colorado, number 61, Washington State, and even Utah Valley is in at number 93. So that's now 6 top 100 wins for Boise State, at least in the KenPom numbers. So really impressive. And again, 82-59. It was pretty much from start to finish an ass kicking. I don't really know how else to describe it. It was a 20-point game for most of the game. And it stayed, right around 15 to 18 there late in the second half. And really the only time that Utah State started to get back in it, they hit 4 straight threes. And that was also when Boise State was dealing with some foul trouble and had a couple guys with 4 fouls on the bench. And so it was a very one-sided game, and didn't see this coming. I thought Boise State would win, but I certainly did not see a win of this magnitude, 23 points coming. And you just had some huge performances up and down the lineup for Boise State. Tyson Degenhart, 8 of 14 from the field. He had 19 points, 10 rebounds. You read the story from Colin Mitchell talking about his 3-point shooting, and they were confident it would break out. Well, he goes 2 for 2 tonight from downtown. His plus-minus was 31, the best of any player on the floor. When Tyson Degenhart was in the game, Boise State outscored Utah State by 31 points. So he's making a strong case for our Matt Bauscher Real Estate Player of the Game. We'll get to that, but I thought Max Rice hit some big shots. He had 14 points. The 3 that he hit right before halftime was huge. The 3 that he hit right there with like a minute and 30 seconds left in the game, he had another long one as well. So a big time performance from Max Rice to do what he did. 4 of 6 from downtown, and we talked about it on the pregame show, but he shoots way better from 3-point range at home, and that obviously proved true again tonight. But you had 10 points, 5 rebounds from Najee Smith, 10 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists from Marcus Shaver Jr. Abbo had 11 points in only 16 minutes, 31 seconds. He was dealing with foul trouble for a good portion of the game, and only, didn't play a lot. But so you had Kobe Young step in. He had 6 points, 6 rebounds, career high in rebounds for him. Jace Whiting hit a couple buckets, had 8 points. I thought Jace Whiting had a huge three when Boise State was up by 15, I think it was, and they were starting to cut into it, and that put it back to 18. It was a real long one right in front of the kind of in front of the media table, almost over there on that side, kind of at the wing. He was probably a good 4 or 5 feet behind the 3-point line. So I thought he played well. But as I said, even Lucas Milner had 4 points. So really the bench, we've talked a lot about the bench, 10 total points. And the last 2 games, the bench tonight had 18 points for Boise State. So nice to see the bench get going a little bit. Boise State dominated on the rebounds, 41-29. Boise State had a 41-29 rebounding margin. Boise State pretty much dominating all the stats. I mean, Utah State came in as one of the top 3-point shooting teams in America. They were number 1 or I think they might have gone down to number 2 after Colgate had a big game, but they started out like 2 of 15 from 3-point range. They finished 7 of 21 from downtown, but only 6 of 14 from the free throw line for Utah State. I mean, they missed 8 free throws. They make some of those free throws, it would have been a lot closer game. And Boise State shoots 50% from the field, 31 of 62. And they also made 11 of 19 threes, their best 3-point shooting game of the season to this point. For how chippy and physical the game was, you only had a combined 27 free throws, and you had 35 fouls. Did get a little chippy there. We do have video of the aftermath of the first scrimmage, and then Colin Mitchell was filming on the second one as well. Wasn't really a lot that happened, just a little bit of pushing and some technical fouls called it, but you could tell Utah State was getting frustrated. The crowd was getting into it. You had our friends down in section 12 getting after it on the free throws and stuff, and it was a fun atmosphere. 12,007 was the announced attendance. 12,007. It's the 9th largest crowd for a men's basketball game in ExtraMile Arena history. You're talking like 40 years. Now, there were not 12,000 people here. There were a lot of empty seats. You still have to do something with all these lower level seats. It's just amazing behind the bench how many seats do not get filled on the lower level. I don't understand it, but they distributed 12,007 tickets for this game, which is how they're counting it now. And that was the largest they've had in a long time. I think almost 10 years or 10 plus years, the largest crowd here at ExtraMile Arena. And they were fired up, and it was a big win. And this was a good home court advantage tonight for Boise State. So the fans brought it, and next home game against Nevada, you'd like to see it like this again. I know it's a weekday game, I believe, for that one, but certainly the crowd was great, and that was a big storyline tonight. How into it they were. They did call a technical foul on 30, Dan Aiken, but Logan saying he should have had 2 techs by the first time he got one. And then he said his flipping off the fans had me laughing. I didn't see him flip off the fans. I'm not sure when that happened. Grand Tetons 2 found great humor that the ref went to you and Mike Prater to tell you who the foul was on, not to the scoreboard. That was just told you all you needed to know about that officiating crew. When they called a foul, they actually came over to Colin Mitchell, Mike Prater, and I, and the gentleman said the foul's on 10 white. And he's looking at me. I'm like, okay, great, thanks. What do you want me to do about it? Like, go tell the people on the other side. Like, didn't even know which side the scorer was on, the official scorer was on, which is what tells you it was a very, very poorly officiated game. I thought David Hall was okay, but the other 2 in particular both had off nights. Doran Gottschall and Jimmy Cassis both were, not the best officiating crew that'll come through Boise this year. At least you hope not. Got some. He said he did it twice. Once after the handshake and one after he missed a layup in the second half. Well, how about that? That was classy if that is the case. I didn't see that, so hard for me to. Funk was getting in Duryea's face a bit after the first scuffle. I think he's one of the only players they still have on the roster when Duryea was the coach there. Oh, interesting. I didn't think about that. I saw him getting in with Lexus Williams a little bit too. You had a couple of those guys come running in, and that had the chance to get much more out of hand and dangerous than it actually did. But it really wasn't. I didn't think anything that was super crazy. But again, Boise State able to get the win. They move up in the computer rankings, and it's a nice win for Boise State. So, Colin Mitchell, look at the photo my wife just sent me. We got some rat. It looks like some mice in our house. That'll be fun to go home to. We thought we had one. We were hoping it was really old, and we found it in our garage. And we now have. There you go. There's the Raines family picture of 2 dead mice that our trap caught today. I was a little later than usual coming to the arena, because I told Colin I was going to buy mouse traps, and we found one in our garage, and we were hoping that was a one-time thing. We opened up the pantry, saw that it looked like there had been some business done in there. Didn't see any mice. Set up the mouse traps, and there you go. We got two mice right there in our pantry. That's. Oh man, that's gonna be fun to go. We might be staying at a hotel tonight. I'm not sure. My wife's not a big fan of mice, so I'm not sure that she's gonna be wanting to stay in there. So, JT says he found one in his wife's van while driving it. Ooh, that would be interesting to see. Sam says, yikes. Apparently, since the other game ran late on FS1, we missed an alley-oop dunk on the Broncos' first play. It wasn't really a dunk. It was Najee Smith catching it and kind of in midair, kind of laying it in, but it wasn't a dunk. Such a great game and atmosphere is what Jody says. Let's see. Time to adopt a stray cat and scare the mice off. Yeah, we may have to do that. Mice are 6% protein. Bronco says Tyson leading the men's team with 19 points. Mary Kay Narrow leading the women's team with 19 points. Yeah, that was a nice win for the women. They stay undefeated in Mountain West play. They're 2-0 now, so a nice double dip with the women's team getting the win and the men's team getting the win as well. We have some highlights that we're going to show you, over 6 minutes of highlights from this one that Colin has ready to go. But first, I want to tell you about a couple of our great sponsors. Transcompservice.com. If you're looking for a new job, look no further. Become a truck driver. Get into the trucking industry. It's a booming industry right now. You can drive the big rig on your screen or something maybe a little bit smaller, the Amazon truck in your neighborhood, everything in between. Transcompservice.com, 866-813-7620. They'll help you with all the permits and things you need to get out there towing that first load in no time. If you're looking for a dentist, how about Boise Dentistry Co.? BoiseDentistryCo.com. Dr. Chris Meinert there on the screen. They got locations from Mountain Home to Caldwell, everywhere in between. I'm going to the Eagle Road location here in a couple weeks, and they just do a tremendous job, and it's full family dentistry, so they can help your kids, your parents, whoever, the full family. So if you're looking for a new dentist, someone that's a big BSU supporter, go check out Boise Dentistry Co. If you're looking for business insurance, how about United Commercial Insurance? 229-8222, UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. We appreciate them. They specialize in business insurance. So if you own a business or help out with the business on the insurance side, they can write policies in 44 states around the country. So go check them out, United Commercial Insurance. 229-8222 at United Commercial Insurance. They make business insurance easy. Again, Boise State wins this one. Final score 82-59. Let's take capacity crowd on hand. Announce it at 12,007 was the announced crowd for this one, and they were into it from the start. They were here an hour before tip-off, starting to show up, and it was a very energetic crowd from start to finish, and it really did play a role in helping the Broncos for this one. And again, thanks to Colin Mitchell, who was behind the camera for the highlights in this one and putting this package together, so we appreciate Colin. Here you go, crowd on its feet. You got the jock jams playing for tip-off. It was from the start, you could tell it was going to be a fun atmosphere for this one. Early on, there's your alley-oop that you missed on the opening play. Just kind of a tip in there for Najee Smith. That put Boise State up 2-0. Nice pass there. Degenhart with a couple early buckets for Tyson. That one made it 4-2. Another pass into Degenhart. Waits. Gets his own tip in and scores. Wanted to pad his rebound stats a little bit. That's how you end up with a double-double. But Utah State hits the three there. Now Boise State, Abbo with a little response there on the jumper. That made it 8-7, Boise State back in front. Then you head over in the corner, and look at Tyson Degenhardt after he makes this three. The reaction, he's so pumped up. You can tell it. He's been struggling from three, obviously. He's waving his arms in the air, trying to get the crowd into it. Max Rice gets in on the three-point barrage as well. That made it 14-9 at that point on the three-pointer from Max Rice. Rice driving this time, finds Milner. Easy layup for Lucas Milner. He had 4 points off the bench. Boise State goes up 16-9 at that point. You had the folks in the from the Blue Collar Club in Section 12 there making some noise. They eventually got in trouble for those signs and had to put them away for the free throws. Somebody complained, I guess. Degenhardt again rattles in a three. Look, he's pumped up. 2 for 2 from three. He's fired up, getting the crowd to raise up there, and he was into it. A lot of energy from the start for Boise State. Kobe Young came off the bench and played well due to the foul trouble. That made it 30-18 on the jumper he hit there. And then Boise State is off and running. Kobe finds Marcus Shaver. The step back, the three, bang, three-pointer for Marcus Shaver Jr. That put Boise State up 33-21 at that point. Jace Whiting, the nice layup. He had a nice game, I think 8 points off the bench. Really impressive. And now late in the first half, Boise State up 42-30. Max Rice from about 30 feet rolls it in, and that was a perfect end for Boise State at the half. They go up 15. I mean, if you're only up 12 at the half, that could have been a little different, but that goes in. They're up 15 points at the half, and Boise State looking pretty good at that point going into the start of the second half. The crowd was obviously pumped up. Early on in the second half, Rice with the pump fake, the step back, the three again. That put Boise State up 50-32 at that point. And now here's Najee Smith with the dunk. This made it 52-32. Boise State all of a sudden up by 20 points. Utah State, trying to hang around. Nice bucket there by Bairstow. Najee Smith, a nice pass to Degenhardt. Broncos were really up by 20, about 20, 25 for most of the game. I think the biggest lead was actually 24. Nice up and under there from Max Rice. Funk from three. They started to get it going a little bit. I think this might be the stretch where they hit 4 threes in a row. But here's Jace Whiting with the drive. Nice dish. Lucas Milner with the jam for Boise State. And then Jace Whiting's like, all right, I was going to drive, but if you leave me wide open, I'll take the three. He's got his hands in the air, put Boise State up, I think, 66-42 at that point. Najee Smith. And there's another one from Whiting. Huge three there. That's when they were trying to cut into the lead. They had it to 15 points. And then the tensions flare a little bit. Here's the end of the first scuffle. Najee Smith trying to fire up the crowd. 30 came in there. They're trying to get their guys to leave and go back to their locker room. So, there's some footage. We'll skip past that because I don't want to get in. Oh, there's a nice dunk for Najee Smith. He was rolling. And then here's the second one. Right here you had Max Rice and 30 getting into it. 30 kind of, I thought, was the aggressor there. And then Max Rice as well. Fans are booing. They double technical. Originally they called a foul on Max Rice, and then double technical was called. So they get together. I love this part. The fans booing. I'm glad Colin got this. The booing. They're all waving, cheering, yelling at 30 as he was walking off. They were very animated. Late in the game when he was dribbling the ball before he fouled out, they were on every play. They were booing him very heavily after the first scuffle, and then they obviously had the second one. He fouled out there, though. But Max Rice, with 36 seconds to go, hits a huge three, puts Boise State up by 23. And, it was huge. They're going to win the game, so I guess it wasn't huge from that standpoint. But to hit a deep three like that, close out the game. There's Najee Smith getting the crowd fired up. 82-59 the final. Boise State dribbling out the clock here. Crowd's loving it. Nothing happened in the handshake line. Everything was A-OK in the handshake line. I made sure Colin videotaped that just in case. But final buzzer sounds 82-59 on Boise State's best win of the season by far, as Boise State again wins by 23 over a Ken Palm team ranked at the time number 30. They were number 21 in the net, so that was by far, to this point at least, Boise State's best win of the season. We'll take a look here at the ICCU YouTube chat. We do have Leon Rice coming up. We have Ryan Odom, the former UMBC coach, now the Utah State coach. We had Colin go over and interview him, so we will have some reaction on the other side, which I like doing as much as possible. Let's see. Shea held his own in the half court. So you had a lot of dignitaries in the crowd tonight. You had Shea McClellan. He was out there doing the half court shot with Matt Bauscher and it was, who else do we have here? We had Andy Avalos. We had Bush Hamden was here. Chuck Pagano was in the house. You had our friend Barry Werner, owner of the tavern. You had Darren College. It was a big who's who in terms of who was here. And I don't know if anybody caught Shea McClellan, but he was just hanging out, like sitting on the court down there where the people take photos. And I think that was one of his friends, but I don't know if he had a pass or couldn't have a seat or what, but he was just chilling right there, kind of where the cheerleaders sit, like sitting on the court watching the game. I thought that was, but he's Shea McClellan, so I guess you're not going to kick him out at that point. So that was a big time atmosphere, big time crowd, and it looks like Boise State basketball. I mean, if they can keep this rolling, these are like it's going to be a hot ticket here. I mean, this should be. I mean, these games should all be selling out, and these should all be a game where you want to go see this team play. I mean, they've only got 7 home games left. Hard to believe after today, 7 home games left. Kevin, if we have a tweet of we need to have a new comment of the game or comment of the show sponsor and get that. But he says time for a pest sponsor, pest control sponsor. So yeah, we do need to work on that. That's a good one, Kevin. Kurt Fuller says great game, great atmosphere, big win for sure. Of any negative, BSU can improve on. They gave up a ton of wide open looks. Glad they were cold tonight. I do agree with that. It was a combination of Boise State's defense, but also a lot of wide open shots that Utah State probably makes just did not go in tonight. Jordan says, got to meet Colin's parents tonight. Great folks. Happy for that. Jordan, thank you for the tickets, helping his parents get in there tonight. So glad we could make that work and get some Boise State fans into the arena. Kind of a bummer in a way. The rematch won't happen until the regular season finale. Yeah, last game of the regular season, Boise State heads down to Logan. Cody Riddle, what a butt kicking. Mike says, way to go Broncos. New team in the West, Boise State, no more Gonzaga talk. Kurt, we're not going there yet. Is Ashworth? No, Ashworth is not a regular starter for them. He is their 6th man. So yeah, it is hard to believe that one of the top 3-point shooters in the country is not a starter for them. Great play from Chase Whiting tonight. I agreed. I thought Jace played awesome. I know it's still early, but I want to see back-to-back NCAA bids for the first time in school history. I mean, last year's team, they had the most wins, first tournament championship. They did so many things, but literally the last box last year that they couldn't check off was winning the first game in the NCAA tournament in program history. They were even the highest seed. Got kind of a rough, raw deal having to play Memphis. But yeah, that, getting back to the tournament would be huge, and more so winning the first tournament game. I don't think they're probably in yet. They still have some work to do, but this win certainly helped over a team that was projected by some people to be in the tournament. So their resume is starting to get better. Sarah says, first game of the year we've been to, electric. Love seeing the guys in sync on defense and offense. Go Broncos. Thank you, Sarah, for the comment. Appreciate that, and hope you can make it back to some more games. It was a perfect 4:30 afternoon game. I mean, it was just a perfect time for a game. So it was if you were there tonight, you got your money's worth tonight. It was fun. Najee Smith had the wardrobe malfunction. Yeah, he got blood on his jersey and had to go switch to a generic number 30 with no name on the back. Kobe Young played well also. Yes, he did. Watching New Mexico and UNLV, New Mexico looks very good. Of course, that's what they said about Utah State. Yeah, and that'll be tough, too, having to go to the Pit. That's going to be a sellout crowd. The Pit's one of the best atmospheres, and you're playing a pretty good game. So I'm actually really looking forward to getting down to Albuquerque next week from Friday, I guess. They got 2 road games before that, but that one is coming up. That finale is going to be crazy despite the score. The game was chippy. Should be a feisty return trip in Logan. And there could be a lot on the line on that game, too. I mean, Boise State or Utah State could be playing for a Mountain West championship in that game. So, yeah, a lot could be on the line in the regular season finale. So, We will bring in some of these interviews here as well. We've got Ryan Odom, the head coach. We've got Max and Tyson, and then we've got Leon Rice as well. We'll start with Max Rice and Tyson Degenhart, Boise State players. They met with the media after the game. We'll get to that in just a second, but I do want to thank a couple of our sponsors. How about Ridley's Family Markets? Check them out, shopridleys.com. Go download the Ridley's app. We would love for you to download the Ridley's app, and then you can get huge savings when you go to their locations. The CUNA location, love that one. So download the app in your app store on your phone, Ridley's app from Ridley's Family Markets, and check them out at shopridleys.com. The Blue and Orange Store, if you're looking for some new Boise State gear, the blueandorangestore.com. We're going to give away a $25 gift card to the Blue and Orange Store next week for the best message board posts. So if you go onto the message boards and make a post on BroncoNationNews.com, we'll give away a gift card to the best one. They're offering free shipping on any order over $40, and they've got all the newest Boise State gear, a lot of the NIL shirts for basketball and football. So get on in there and check them out. Second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall or online at theblueandorangestore.com. And Boucher Real Estate, as we get ready to hear from Max Rice and Tyson Degenhart. I want to remind you that the number one ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Boucher Real Estate. Matt Boucher and his team are ready to help you out when you're looking to buy or sell that next home. BoucherRealEstate.com. Despite his attempt at the half-court shot tonight, don't let that deter you when you're looking to decide if you're ready to purchase a home or sell a home. Please use Matt Boucher. We would appreciate that. Some comments rolling in here in the ICCU comment. Road trip, Logan is saying. Jordan says, I'd like to go to that Logan game. Honestly, Logan is saying road trip. It's only about a 4-hour drive, and I think it's on a Saturday too. So that could be maybe they can get some Boise State fans to drive down there to Logan for that game. That would be a lot of fun. So Max Rice, Tyson Degenhart met with the media after the game. We still got Leon Rice and Ryan Odom to come, but here's the Boise State players after the 82-59 win.
Feels good to get a win like that. It's against a good team that provided us a lot of challenge, especially with the way they shoot the three. So great crowd today. Shout out to them. They really impact the X, and we appreciate them for that.
Yeah, I feel like those are the type of games like why you play college basketball. I mean, we had a sold-out arena against a quad one team. Both teams were super competitive, although it was a fun, competitive game the whole way, and we're happy with the outcome. So.
Leon was saying earlier in the week, like, this is not a team that you're going to be able to stop them from deep. You can only hope to limit them, and you guys seem to limit them about as good as you could have done. What was the key to holding them, I think, to like 2 made threes in the first half?
Just really keen in on the game plan we have. Like, we trust the coaches to make the best game plan for us, to put us in the best situation possible to win games, and we followed it to a T, and we got the result that we wanted tonight.
Yeah, I think that we shout out Bernie for that one. I mean, he's really annoying to listen to all week, but he does get the job done, and I think our defensive numbers are going to be crazy after that one, just because I think it depends on who you're playing to, and so holding them to 59 points is huge. And so credit Duryea too, though. He knows all their sets too, and he helps us all week. So credit to both those coaches.
Tyson, after all the talk this week about three-pointers, you were 2 for 2 from three-point range.
Hey,
how did that feel?
It's always good to see him go in, and it's a testament to my teammates and coaches for always believing in me and knowing that I put in the work to make shots, and it's nice to make a couple tonight.
This was a super chippy game where it seemed like there were guys on the floor every 20 seconds and stuff like that. What was that like to play in? And it seemed like, towards the end, you guys were the more, composed team.
Yeah, it's funny. During the game, Rylan came up to me. He's like, God, it feels like we're playing football out here. And I'm like, yeah, that's life in the Mountain West, isn't it? So, I mean, out there, it felt really physical. I hope Rylan's all right after that charge. But it was just a fun game, really physical. And I think that's what you got to expect playing in the Mountain West. So.
Probably too early to call it a statement game, but at the same time, I mean, the talk of this week was Utah State being a top 20 net team, and I mean, you guys are the defending champs. It seems like you guys are pretty inspired from the jump tonight. Like, that motivate you guys at all, Max?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we knew their numbers coming in were crazy good. So the only thing I worry about is maybe it might become a quad 2 game after that because we beat them by 20. So we'll see though. Hopefully it stays quad 1. But they're a great team. They got great players. And we just stuck to the game plan. I think it paid off for us tonight.
Same question for you, Tyson. I mean, like I said, a lot of the talk coming in was how good Utah State was.
They're a good team still. They're going to win a lot of games in the Mountain West. We got them tonight, but they're going to get a lot of teams. So we just got to make sure we do everything in our power to win each and every game.
How good was it? You mentioned you made a couple early field goals. How big was that for you, your confidence in that, Tyson?
Confidence skyrockets when a couple go in, It just helps my game out all around. And, I don't want to be a guy who, only plays good when he makes shots. You want to make an impact, either way. So, that's just the cherry on top is making shots.
I mean, again, big storyline Max was we knew Tyson was due. What was it like when you saw him, hit a couple?
Yeah, earlier this week we talked about it. I said you were due for a perfect 2-for-2 game, so we called that one, me and Tust. But yeah, we know he's going to make those, and I feel like getting in the lane, I always look for him, and I know it's going to pay off, and it paid off tonight. And I think those are just easy assists for me because they kind of help off him sometimes, and he's going to knock those down consistently, so we're not really worried about it at all.
Max, we talked a lot about the bench recently, and Uzo was limited to 17 minutes tonight. Shave only plays 23, both are in foul trouble. Milner, Jace, Kobe. How bad do you guys need that to get through Mountain West play?
Yeah, that reminds me, I think there was 2 or 3 plays that Jace had where it was bordering on them coming back, and Jace hit a tough 3. He hit a really deep 3, I think to extend the game back to 18 or something. And then earlier he hit another 3 that I think extended our lead to about 20 again. So Jace, I think, was huge. Kobe, I think, had 8 rebounds or something like that. And then obviously Lucas in the pick and roll was really good for us too. So I think we're getting deeper, and I think those guys with this experience are getting better every game. So I think you saw that tonight.
You guys lose that Nevada game the way you did, and you bounce back with 2 nice wins like this. And how much, I guess, how impressive was the bounce back you guys have had the last 6 days or whatever?
I think it was impressive for us, but we took those 4 days in between the Nevada game and the San Jose State game to reset, make sure we get back to the tape, and improve on our weaknesses that we saw in the Nevada game. I think we've shown great strides since then. So we hope to keep building on that and keep building to the rest of the season.
What was it like that first half where it just seemed like any shot you guys took from 35 feet or in was going to go in?
Mm-hmm. You want to take this one?
You got it.
Yeah, the first half it kind of just felt like they were missing shots they usually make, and we were making shots that we've kind of been missing, kind of been making. So, I mean, that's what'll happen. That'll get you a 20-point lead, definitely. But I mean, you never know. Life on the road is tough in the Mountain West, and I think everyone can attest to that. Playing at Nevada was obviously super hard, and coming to Boise is very hard, higher elevation. We push it a lot here too. So I think it's just tough on in the Mountain West playing on the road, and I think you saw that too. So.
Well, you can get the rest of that on our YouTube channel. We'll have the full interview of Tyson and Max. There's another 5 minutes or so a lot to get to there, and you can go watch the full video here shortly on the Bronco Nation News YouTube channel. We have Ryan Odom, the head coach at Utah State. We're going to hear from him in just a minute, and then we have Leon Rice as well. So still a lot to get to. We're taking your comments on the ICCU YouTube chat, and Logan Byler says, I really want to know how 30 didn't get a technical after throwing the ball out of bounds. Yeah, he did kind of smack at the ball. That's right. He did smack at the ball, and then they didn't call anything. So I don't know what was going on there, but hey, check out Timberstone Golf Course, by the way. Play timberstone.com. They're the top course in the area, and they got the indoor simulator, the TrackMan simulator. They're still doing lessons indoors. So a lot of ways to still work on your golf game, even if it's not maybe the warmest time of year. So check out playtimberstone.com and check it out, Timberstone Golf Course. Let's hear from Ryan Odom, the head coach at Utah State. He did a joint in-person and Zoom video conference, video interview, post-game interview, and Colin Mitchell was there. Here's the head coach of Utah State after the game, Ryan Odom.
Boise State was dynamite tonight. The players and their staff were clearly ready to go, and got off to a great start. I mean, I think it was, certainly their night, not ours. We were very short of executing really on either side of the ball throughout the game. The first half, there was back and forth there a little bit for the first 5 minutes, but it was a little bit like Fresno State. Our defense was not, stepping up, appropriately. They had 18 points with 11 minutes to go in the game pretty quickly. And, I thought, we had some open looks, some that we've been making, that didn't go down, that could have changed, the feeling that we had within the game, but they didn't. And, Boise was able to secure those rebounds and turn some into baskets, heading up the court. Timely threes. They were getting behind our defense way too much in the first half, and so we had to switch to pick and roll coverage. But it's certainly credit to them and how they played. Certainly, our free throw shooting in the first half was a major factor. In the deficit, we're 6 for 15 basically, 6 for 14 on the stat sheet, but missed the front end of a 1-on-1. You're down 15, and obviously we would not have been if we shot our normal percentage from the free throw line and made a couple of those shots that we had. And ultimately it does come down to that. You've got to be able to make shots, and you've got to be able to get stops when you need them. And in this game, we come out of halftime, and the guys were pretty calm in there. And I was thinking that we were going to play, our style of ball coming out, and we had 3 straight turnovers, and they got a layup, out of halftime, and so just not there. And it's unfortunate, but Boise had a great night tonight. You got to give their crowd and their fans a lot of credit. They stepped up for their team tonight. They showed out for their team, and we're excited to play and cheer for their home squad. And that's what you want. As a player and a coach, you want to play and coach in these environments. And so both teams had the opportunity to do that. And they're going to come back to the Spectrum in March, and I would expect a similar atmosphere in the Spectrum, because that's what we're all about. We cheer for the Aggies, and they cheer for their Broncos, and so that's a cool thing. In terms of the back and forth in the middle of the game or throughout the game, technicals are not who either team want to be. Like, it's double technicals are not okay for either program, and so it just is what it is. We have to be better than that, and obviously he's going to talk to his team, and I'm going to talk to my team about that. It's not okay to react inappropriately to competition like that. It's a physical game, but it is what it is. Both teams are trying to win.
There he is, Ryan Odom, the head coach of Utah State, talking to the media, and Colin Mitchell after Boise State defeats the Aggies 82-59. You heard him talking about the crowd there. He said give the crowd and their fans a lot of credit. They stepped up for their team. They were excited to cheer for their home squad. He mentioned we'll be back in the Spectrum in March, and I'd expect a similar atmosphere. So that last regular season game, Boise State and Utah State, to finish off the regular season. Nate, talking about this next stretch here. Yeah, it's a very, very tough next 4 games for Boise State, and I think you would probably definitely take 2-2, and you'd love 3-1, but you'd probably have to take 2-2. I mean, I think if you right now you said you could go 2-2, playing at UNLV, at Wyoming, at New Mexico, and Reno at home. I think you take that. I think you feel like you can get Nevada at home, and then you got to, you'd love to win 2 of the 3, UNLV, Wyoming, and New Mexico, and go 3-1 during that stretch. If you could do that and be 5-2 after that gauntlet, that'd be crazy. But I think you try to win 1. I mean, Wyoming, you saw today, they almost beat San Diego State. So you saw, what it's going to be like having to go to Wyoming next week. UNLV's playing well. That's going to be tough. But at Wyoming, at New Mexico, certainly tough. Then you do have Nevada at home. Kareem the Dream, man, good to see you as well. It's always fun when folks stop by on Press Row and say hello. Appreciate your subscription and for watching, Kareem. Thanks, man. We'll try to get you. We'll stop by next one of these games. We'll hook you up with a gift card or something, man. Appreciate you always watching and commenting and coming to say hi. So I do appreciate that. We're going to hear from Leon Rice, Boise State's head coach, here in just a minute. We still got we're at 40 minutes and counting, and we've got 71 people on here watching live, at least on the number I'm looking at. So we're doing very well on the viewership, and obviously you guys are excited and fired up. If you are watching us on YouTube or not watching us on YouTube, please subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's free. It's easy. And then you can get, if you turn on all your notifications, you can get notified when we go live. So just turn on all notifications, and then when we go live, you'll get an alert, and you'll be able to tune into our live shows. So youtube.com/Bronco Nation News. Please check them out. Our title sponsor, before we get to Leon Rice, is roepaint.com, roepaint.com. Check them out, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. We appreciate them and their support of Bronco Nation News. You still get that promo code BNN15, gets you 15% off. BNN15 gets you 15% off your painting at roepaint.com. I mentioned Lithia Ford of Boise earlier, our title sponsor. We appreciate them. There's a new and better way to get exactly what you want in a new Ford car or truck. Custom orders your own. You can custom order your own from the bottom up. The style, the colors, features you want. If it feels like it's made for you, that's because it is. Your Ford, your way. Check them out. LithiaFordBoise.com, and of course Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. Make the switch today, like over 500,000 people have done. 500,000 new accounts. Idaho Central Credit Union. The Raines family couldn't be happier that we made the switch. So easy, online banking. It's just you never have to go into at all to it can just all be done on your phone and your computer. So check them out, ICCU.com. Let's hear from Leon Rice, the head coach of the Boise State men's basketball team, after Boise State wins this one. The final score again, 82-59. And Leon Rice met with the media. It's about 12 minutes. We're not going to play it all, so you can go to the YouTube channel and watch the rest of it. But here is some of Leon Rice meeting with the media.
Thank you, fans. That was a huge atmosphere and great Mountain West game, and that was a really, really good team we beat today, and we had to play a great game to beat them, and our guys showed up and did, executed what they needed to execute, and were dialed in, and really proud of them. But like I said, I think the fans got a great Bronco Saturday afternoon.
Your toughest game of the season, your best point, maybe probably your best performance of the season.
True.
Knowing like what you said about Utah State, to come out and be up 20 plus for most of the game. How impressive was that?
With them, I remember 8-10 minutes. I was like, this thing's not over. It's not over against them because of the way how dangerous they are from the 3-point line, how good they are offensively, but I was really impressed with our guys, the way they approached it the last 3 days, and the way they fought through some stuff today, and this time of year nobody's healthy, and I got tough guys. They did some great stuff.
Max mentioned that he talked to Rylan Jones during the game, and they said that it felt like a Mountain West football game almost because of the physicality.
Oh yeah.
What was it like from your?
Oh God, and then let me just give a shout out to Rylan. That guy always just gives his body up to. That disturbed me because he's got a lot of concussions, and I hate to see a kid. All your life you've been rewarded and praised for giving your body up, and he does that. He just, and to see him on the floor like that was disturbing. So hopefully he's okay.
With you look at foul trouble with Buzo. You played 17 minutes. Shaver limited to 23, and then you go to your bench. You get 20 minutes from Jace Whiting, 22 from Kobe. Lucas had some bright spots.
Yeah.
How big was that trio off the bench for you?
That was huge, and you're right. And I've been saying that all along. The key to the season is our bench, because you're going to run into that adversity. If Kobe wasn't ready to go, we'd have been cooked. If Jace hasn't been getting better and better, we've been cooked. If like you said, if Lucas doesn't bring those minutes, you're in trouble. And we got other guys that I'm hoping to keep bringing along and getting better and getting into more action, and they're going to save our bacon, and they're going to have opportunities too. It's just that you just got to keep a great attitude, keep working, and like I said, there's some other guys that maybe didn't even play tonight that have ability and that can help this team if they keep working at it and grinding it, and be there when we need them most.
How cool is it to see Jay? It seems like Jace when he comes off the bench, he's pretty steady, but he's kind of making plays tonight too.
Yeah.
He had a couple big threes when it almost seemed like Utah State might creep back into it.
I like toughness, and he's got that. He just does, and I knew he was pretty tough because of his genes, but when I got to coach him, that's when I really found out how tough he is, and that's why he's good. And he's getting better. He's getting better and better and understanding our system. Think about it. He hasn't played basketball for 2 years, and he's just learning our system, getting and he'll put the time in, and you know, he'll be one of the best shooters in this league someday. And but I'm really proud of him, and you know, those guys, you know, Coach Burns been coaching him really hard defensively, and he loves it, and he takes it, and he gets better because of it. So hats off to him, no doubt.
You were mentioning earlier in the week that, you know, you probably can't stop Utah State from deep, but, you know, you can try and limit them, and you guys did about as good of a job as you could. What was the key of that, especially in the first half, kind of holding them to, like, I think 2 made threes in the first?
I think, it was our guys' effort. It starts with the effort, but then the attention to detail in the preparation. But, you know, our guys, they come out and play really hard. But, you know, like I said, too, I think there's a third factor, too, when you get this home crowd like that. You know, they love that. They were excited to play today. I was trying to hold the reins on them a little bit early, you know, in this today, and because I know which ones aren't used to this a little bit, and I knew what to. So I knew Kobe was very important today, because we're still learning how to deal with this kind of stuff in these environments and not be overhyped, but be, you know, kind of even keel.
What did you make of, especially in the second half when it did get a little chippy, the composure of your guys to not let it get into anything way worse? And it seemed like they were up. You guys were obviously laying it to them pretty good, and Utah State was pretty frustrated.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen the film. I don't even really know what happened and all that stuff. It's just, you know, and coaches, we're going to defend our guys, and they're going to defend their guys. You know, who knows? But we'll look at the film. But that's what we said. And our guys were saying the right things. We want to be the class. We want to handle it with class and be professional about things, and not be chippy. But hey, they're a really good team, and they're not, you know, they're competitive. We're competitive. That stuff happens.
Just your overall offensive effort. I mean, you shoot 50% from the floor, make 11 out of 19 from behind the arc. You have 18 assists, which maybe just told me was one shy of season high. But just overall, that offensive effort.
Yeah.
Where does that kind of stack up for you?
Yeah, we're making big progress there too. We're coming together that way, and you know, because each team that we have has different. Each the group has different strengths and weaknesses. So you got to kind of work to get them to their strengths and weaknesses, avoid their weaknesses and let them play to their strengths. And I think we're tweaking some things and finding some things that are helping us. And these guys are, you know, because we're still trying to get better. We have to get better in this next 30 days to contend with what we're. I mean, you've seen these teams in the league. I mean, it's exciting, and every night's going to be just a Donnybrook, or whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of great teams, and saw one of them tonight, and actually probably saw 2 of them tonight, I think.
What does it say about you guys when you lost at Nevada, and you guys were obviously frustrated, but to get a big week coming up, obviously, and you know every game is big, but to bounce back with 2 wins like this, and you know, get to 2-1 in league, and kind of just to, you know, I guess remind people that you are the defending champs here. You're not going to go down.
And you know, no doubt, we handled that as good as we could, and it wasn't easy because we were mad. You know, I mean, we were disappointed. You saw my post game. We were pretty disappointed that we lost that game, and you know, when you look, we haven't lost a lot of league games in the last 2 years, and I don't want guys that recover too quickly. Now we got to recover, and we did it appropriately, and we figured things out. We got better at some things, and we had to. You know, if we didn't fix the things that cost us that first game, you're 0-3 right now. Period. That's it. And so we're getting better, and their approach and their maturity to that is huge. And you know, because that team we played tonight they have 8 seniors and juniors, and a lot of them are pretty old and experienced, and you know, they're not going to beat themselves. You have to do some things, and so we had a huge task, but we've done a great job. Like I said, is chunking these things out, and you know, now we got the rest of this day to enjoy it, and then we're, you know, back to the recovery phase and back to the response phase, and because it was one game, we have to respond and recover from that, whether you win or lose. And so we're going to have to have a great practice Monday, have a great rehab and stuff tomorrow, and be ready.
This was your good, best shooting night from three. I mean, Max hit the one right before the half, the one at the end of the game. But was this a case of you guys just like making a lot of shots that sometimes it just hadn't gone in earlier in the year?
I think we're getting better at understanding how to get our shots, and it's the quality of shots sometimes. And sometimes it is just that your offense looks a lot better when you make shots. It's the operation of success and the patient died. If you miss the shot, so you gotta be able to make shots, but you gotta be able to get them the right way and get each other shots, and we were doing that. A great job of that tonight.
What went through your mind when Tyson knocked down a couple early threes?
Nothing. Really nothing, because I'm expecting it. It's what goes through my mind when he misses. I'm surprised, and I can't really tell you what went through my mind, because me and Tyson have a funny little thing that I want him to do when he shoots it someday. You and I'll talk over it, but I can't, because I want him playing with a clear head, and so it's just snap it off and shoot it, and makes are coming, like I told him.
He said the confidence.
There he is, Leon Rice, Boise State head coach, talking after this one. A Boise State win, the final score 82-59. We've already got highlights up on YouTube. We've already got all the full post-game interviews. There was more of Leon Rice. There was more of the players, Tyson Degenhart and Max Rice. You can head on to our YouTube channel, and Colin Mitchell already has those posted for you to watch in full. We'll also embed those in my story, which will be posted later tonight on the win. Again, one final look at the stat sheet. 19 points for Tyson Degenhart and 10 rebounds, 19 and 10. You had 10 for Najee Smith. You had 5 rebounds also. You had 10 for Marcus Shaver Jr., 11 for Chibuzo Abo, 14 for Max Rice, 8 points for Jace Whiting, 4 for Lucas Milner, and 6 for Kobe Young. We talked before the game. Colin was mentioning the lack of production from the bench, but they get 10 points. They had 10 points in the previous 2 games, 18 points off the bench for Boise State in this one. They win the rebounding battle 41-29. It was just total butt kicking, big time win, and it was a blowout from start to finish. So a big win for Boise State. And now, as one of you said, the gauntlet starts, as Nate said, heading down to Vegas next week, then at Wyoming, and then Nevada and New Mexico are going to be a gauntlet here coming up. So we'll have full coverage coming up after the game. And as I said, from here until next Friday, I guess we'll pick it on next Friday. We're going to do whoever has the best comment in the comments on the message boards. Go on the message boards, BroncoNationNews.com, post in the message boards, and the best post, or whoever posts the most, or we'll just kind of pick a poster that deserves it, and we'll give away a $25 gift card to the Blue and Orange store next Friday on the show with Jay Tuss. So appreciate everybody for checking us out tonight. As I said, go check out the YouTube page. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. We'd love to have you there. All that is free and takes about 2 seconds. Just hit subscribe on YouTube. It's youtube.com/Bronco Nation News, and that's the best spot for all of our videos and things. And then we'll have coverage Monday and Tuesday, and then we head to Las Vegas. Our private jet winner gets Greg McVeigh. Saw him again at the game tonight. He'll get on the private jet. They'll have a limo waiting for him in Las Vegas when they arrive. And Colin Mitchell will be getting some good video documenting that as we have the fun game. We're going to try to get Greg and Matt Bauscher on the pregame show as well, if that works out. So going to be a fun week next week. So I'm going to have Mike Prater on Monday. We're switching it up this week. Johnny is out. And so we'll have Mike Prater on Monday, and then we'll have Johnny on Thursday. We'll switch that up this week. So Mike Prater and I, 9 a.m. on Monday to talk about this win and a lot of other things. And then programming note, I'll be filling in for Johnny on Idaho Sports Talk, 3 hours of me and Prater on Monday. So hopefully you guys will tune into that as well. On Monday, I'll be hosting 3 to 6 KTIK with Mike Prater. So check Bronco Nation News a little later tonight, BroncoNationNews.com. I'll have a story up. We'll embed the highlights and some of the post-game interviews and get a reaction to this. But Boise State, kind of the theme of my story, making a statement today that, don't forget, there's all this talk about New Mexico and San Diego State and all these other teams. But don't forget about Boise State, the defending Mountain West champs. They kind of made a little bit of a statement today. So check BroncoNationNews.com shortly for that. Appreciate Colin Mitchell. There he is. Wave, Colin. Good work as always. Appreciate you, Colin. He did a great job with the highlights and things, and the package and all the interviews and getting everything set up for us. So couldn't have done it without Colin. We appreciate him, and your financial support through your subscriptions helps make it possible for us to increase Colin's hours and be able to pay him to help out. So hopefully you're liking what you're seeing. If you're not a subscriber, we'd love to have you. $6.99 a month is all it is what it starts at, or you can do $70 for the full year subscription, one-time payment, and get it out of the way. So appreciate everyone that has done that in the last month or so. We added about 40 new subscribers during the month of December, and we'd love to have you as well if you're interested. So a couple of you commenting on the show. Big Wade, thanks, BNN. Appreciate the coverage. Wade won I forget what you won, but you won something. We're going to try to meet on Monday and get you your prize. Marie says, good show. Thank you for that. Kurt, nice coverage on the great job tonight. Appreciate that, guys. Dylan says got to be one of the biggest victories over Utah State in the series. Hey, Nate, was that we'll ask real quick, Nate, was that the biggest victory over them? Do you know in the Utah State series, was that where that ranks? Or we got the great Nate Lowry checking this for us before we get out of here. Previous high was 15, so there you go. There it is. That was the biggest win in the history of the Utah State series. Thank you to Nate Lowry for that. So appreciate everybody for checking us out. Colin getting some love on here as well. Yeah, he's doing a great job. So hope everybody has a great rest of your Saturday evening. I'm going to go deal with mice in my kitchen pantry at my house. So we'll figure out that after I write my story and post it here. And then we will get all of that done, and we'll be back Monday morning, 9 a.m. with Mike Prater as we break this game down as well. So go check out the website, go subscribe, and have a great rest of your weekend. We'll talk to you Monday morning, 9 a.m. For Colin Mitchell, for all of our great sponsors, including rowpaint.com, Lithia, Florida, Boise, and Idaho Central Credit Union. My name is BJ Rains, and this has been the Lithia, Florida, Boise postgame show. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com. Again, the final score, Boise State wins it 82-59. The Broncos making a statement that the championship for the second year in a row goes through Boise. So have a great weekend. We'll talk to you later. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com.